Pat Bev, he actually gave some great insight to Joel Embiid and some of the laziness. Yo, my man Pat Bev is always with the inside scoop in a very timely manner. You never noticed that? My man spilled the beans on LeBron and what's going on in LA as soon as he dipped out.
What was it? You remember when he talks to the media lady? He's like, "Yo, media lady, do you watch my podcast?" Okay, now get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah. Pat Bev is like the Judas.
Yeah.
It's like the journeyman Judas.
Yeah.
Like, this guy just stabs all the
fucks
teams.
everyone over.
Yeah. You ever see that meme? You ever see that meme with the Grim Reaper, the knocking on the door with the NBA players?
Yeah.
From team. Yo, that's Pat Bev, man. But except it's a microphone.
Like the only players I've never seen Pat Bev fuck over is like Kawhi, Harden, and Giannis.
Yeah. But let's take a look at what Pat Bev had to say about Embiid and some of his habits.
Right. It's been times with Joel Embiid wasn't on time to practice. And you know me, come on, Joe, man. What's up, G? Come on, man. Come on, Joe. Come on, Joe. Be better, Joe. Be great, Joe. Be great. And then his response would be like, "What the man? You get me out of bed? I'm an hour and a half away. I had to get up 2 hours, before, because everyone doesn't live the same spots,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So, like, what we go do? Give me my ball. That same night he had 50 and we won.
Yeah.
I think we were 21-9 the first 30 games, like the best record since 2004, Allen Iverson when I was with Philly. So it's just surprising to see, especially because all the hard work that Nick Nurse and his coaches have put in, just hard to see.
Yeah. There's a lot of scoop coming out on Embiid, man. It's like all of this is coming out all at the same time.
I'm saying about his work ethic, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna keep coming out.
Yeah, you know what? That's what winning solves. All that extra shit that he used to be on that might have been agitating, players. Yeah. Winning would have solved all that. And
going to Western Conference probably would have probably solved a lot of it.
Yeah, but also, do we need to like kind of simmer down our expectations of Embiid, especially with all his chronic injuries in the past?
He's on the decline.
Yeah, do you think like the fan bases should like, all right, Embiid is nice, but we don't think because of all that he's been through with his body, we don't think he could last long. And actually, he's like that Vince Carter meme. Does he have one more in him?
No, Embiid. Bro, I think it's a miracle Embiid's career lasted this long, to be honest with you.
Yeah, when he first came in the league, it wasn't supposed to be like this. He
missed like first 2 seasons of his career?
He was on a minutes restriction.
2014, 2015, 2016 is when he made his debut.
Yeah, I forgot how it went, but I remember when he first came in the league, either he didn't play or either he was on a 20-minute restriction.
No, he didn't play. I remember he didn't play.
And
even his rookie year, he didn't play the whole season. No, I think he played 30 to 26 games. Let me look it up. But I'm pretty positive he missed his rookie year.
But I remember he was on a minute restriction because he was balling out.
Yes, that was his second season. Why did Embiid miss his first 2 seasons?
Yo, my man was balling out. That
Oh yeah, there it is.
playing that 20 minutes a game.
The 76ers was forced to sit out the first 2 years of his career due to an injury. These injuries took significant toll and nearly caused him to retire from basketball. That was Joel Embiid's problem. That the first 2 years of his career, he dealt with injuries.
Wow. It's so interesting, that doctor, that what's his name? That online doctor, Brian Suttner.
Mm-hmm.
You ever heard of him? He has a huge following online. He's a sports doctor, allegedly, quote unquote, but he has a huge following, a huge YouTube channel also. But he has some interesting quotes about Embiid, man. I'm gonna play it. Let's check it out.
He's had multiple injuries and meniscus tears. The more the meniscus gets damaged, the less it can protect the joint cartilage. This leads to more cartilage wear over time, swelling, and pain. The unknown is how much the meniscus has been damaged over the years and what the cartilage looks like. No, I don't think his career or season should be over, but the narrative and expectations need to change and take the pressure off him. This starts at the top with ownership.
Okay. That's from the doctor himself. You guys could definitely check him out online. Like, he has a huge channel, man. This guy reports almost every major sports injury. And people really take what he has to say. Brian Suttner.
He's right.
Yeah, but so again, should we be lowering our expectations of him?
Yeah. Yes. With Joel Embiid, you have to, bro. Look, bro, I think with Jokic, he's shown to be much more durable. Where when we talk about the best players, I guess when we talk about Embiid, who do we really put him in a column with? Jokic and Giannis, right? I think Jokic out of the three has been the most durable, and I think Giannis, when he's on the court, he's a beast. The guy likes to play every game he can, right? But even he's been dealing with nagging injuries. With Embiid, bro, he kind of came into the league dealing with these problems.
Have we seen Embiid at the highest level? I never really remember.
Yes.
I can't remember a playoff series where I said, wow, Embiid really got in there.
2023 regular season.
But what about playoffs?
Never. Because he's never healthy for the playoffs. Or he always has something that nags during the offs.
Yeah, he's been in the league way too long to not have that playoff resume. Because one thing last season people really overlook is that the Knicks just had so many injuries. And they lost 2 more players in that series with the 76ers. So why is Joel Embiid playing over 35 minutes a night, averaging over 30 points a game? Why is he losing to Jalen Brunson and a banged up Knicks squad? Like that, he lost 4 games to 1?
I blame Philly more than I blame him, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, they lost 4 games to 2, I believe.
Yeah. No, I blame Philly more.
You blame Philly more for that series. Why?
Because Philly decided that, we're going to bank on having all this money and signing a free agent instead of actually trying to compete that year.
Oh, yeah, Daryl Morey. Yeah. That's another
so
thing.
How can you really blame? Yeah, but Embiid was injured throughout that year in Philadelphia. Despite knowing that they have a limited time with their superstar, they didn't build them a roster that can compete for that year. What they banked on was another year of having Embiid and getting a potential star like Paul George, which has kind of blown up in their face this year.
Yeah, it really has. Wow. Yeah, Daryl Morey is known for making deals, but we haven't really seen him be known for like roster building. You know what I mean? He makes hell of a deal for blockbuster trades, but we just never seen him build something from the ground up. Like him knowing to go out to get James Harden from OKC.
Morey knows how to construct a roster. I think 2017, 2016 Rockets is a prime example of that, where he brought in Ryan Anderson and Eric Gordon. But the problem with him has always been that when he builds a proper roster, he goes after a star instantly. And I think it worked out for him in Houston because you have a durable superstar like James Harden, right? Where you know that he can play next season. And James Harden was very durable up until he left Houston. So when he started to really age. But the thing is, Joel Embiid in his whole career hasn't shown to be durable. So when you have a player like Joel Embiid, you have to always give him a roster that can compete. And for most of his time in Philadelphia, they realized that. Because you remember, first year, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Dario Saric, Robert Covington were a fun team. Lose in the second round. Okay, let's bring in Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris. Oh, Jimmy is gone. Al Horford. Al Horford's gone. Al Horford's gone. Ben Simmons is gone. Bring in Harden. Now you get Maxey. Maxey fits in. Maxey becomes a star. And then you bring in, obviously now Paul George. So they've known this for a long time. But for whatever reason, Philly really bought into the idea of, we can tank this year. Like, this year doesn't count. And then let's hope to bring in the next year and kind of figure it out from there. And I think that's just a stupid way of how Philly looked at it. That's a stupid way how Daryl Morey looked at it, no matter which way you look at it. Because you wait till the season of Embiid's prime. And now the discussions of Embiid is like, is he the best center of the Eastern Conference? Which, yeah, he is when healthy, but he's never healthy. Like, right now, when I think about the best big men in the Eastern Conference, I'm gonna be honest. I'm thinking like Jared Allen and Karl Anthony Towns.
Ooh, wow. That's a good one
Yeah,
right there. Yeah.
I mean, what's an argument against those guys? I'm talking this season that Karl Anthony Towns and Jared Allen aren't the best centers in the league in the Eastern Conference.
Wow, that's tough. I gotta think about that. That's you
But
cooking right
Embiid isn't
there.
healthy.
You cooking right there. I ain't gonna lie.
Embiid isn't healthy. Those guys are making impacts on their team.
Wow.
Like I can't go based off a resume.
Wow. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised, like you said earlier. We should all be surprised Embiid's career lasted this long. This was not the impression that he gave when he first came in. Like
Fuck no,
I'm
dude.
shocked.
Imagine missing 2 seasons.
Yeah, I'm shocked
You
he
know?
even lasted long
Yeah.
enough to win an MVP.
Exactly. Like I think Embiid's career is gonna go down it's gonna go down a little underwhelming. But at the end of the day, it's kind of impressive he's lasted this long. Like his peak, he kind of came in hot and he lasted what 2016 all the way to 2024. That's 8 years.
Yo, you know what? The 76ers once again, them holding on to fucking Ben Simmons so long. They needed to move off of him. I think that might
They
have
needed to
fucked up.
move off of him.
That might have ruined their Embiid chances of just capitalizing on that moment.
Yeah, because imagine you have a generational star, but at the same time, it's a double-edged sword. Because while you have a generational star, that generational star, will never remain healthy for a crazy like LeBron career or Kevin Durant career, or like Jokic will hold down to Kevin Durant, LeBron James career. But you cannot say the same thing for Embiid. I honestly don't know if Embiid will be a top 10 player when we have this conversation in 2027. I'm gonna be honest.
Wow.
No, I don't see it.
He's gonna get paid like one, I tell you that.
No, of course he's gonna get paid. He's gonna have the reputation of one, but I don't see it. Like I don't see a world where I'm talking about like Joel Embiid being a factor in 2026. I don't see it.
Wow. That is something else. But you know what? The 76ers, the way they are, I don't see them moving off of him unless he completely collapses.
Why would you move off of him?
Ooh, I mean, to be honest with you, let's say the next 2 years, if he's up and down with health, I mean, honestly, it's eventually it's gonna come that time. It's like, hey, we've been through this for almost a decade, and we've invested a lot. We've pushed a lot of stars in and out of the doors, and it's like, yo, you have to know when to throw in the towel eventually.
He's your main attraction.
Man, his contract right now lasts until 2029.
No, I agree, but he's your main attraction. Embiid sells tickets.
Hey, you know what? It wouldn't shock me if McCain if McCain and Maxey give Embiid a run for it as the main attraction.
Look, all you gotta hope, bro. Even that is kind of hard because Embiid's getting his jersey retired when it's all said and done, right?
Oh, yeah,
we can all agree on that.
He deserves it. He deserves it for 76ers.
He deserves to get his jersey retired, and he's probably the biggest star. He's the biggest star they had since Allen Iverson. It's very hard for me to imagine like Philadelphia, the city, moving on from Joel Embiid.
Not really, because at the end of the day, man, we've seen this play out before. These teams, they're gonna love you when you're valuable, but when you start turning that corner, and then they find themselves stuck paying a lot of money for something that's not gonna really work out.
Damaged goods.
Yeah, they start switching up, man. They start switching up on you.
And Philly fan base is very reactionary. Well, the East Coast fan base is very
I'm not even
reactionary.
talking about the fan base. I'm talking about the ownership group.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, of course, owners are always selfish. But I'm just saying, it's like, I think Embiid will always sell in Philadelphia. Like, it's hard for me to imagine them being open to selling him. Because, a lot of ownerships are selfish in that regard. They mostly look at, how much jerseys and tickets can we sell? So maybe they're like, Embiid sells tickets, so, like, who gives a shit about, like, if we suck or if we're good?
Yo,
Like that also plays into a factor.
yeah. I don't know. At the end of the day, you know, we'll see. I'm surprised they signed him for that long until 2029. Wow.
Me too. But I think that just comes back to like his stardom, you know?
And he has a player option for that year.
Yeah. But Philadelphia wasted a lot of time with Embiid because after those first 2 years, when you see this guy's injury prone, they should have just said, all right, let's just try to get a championship as soon as possible.
Yeah, but again, that required them moving off of Ben Simmons, which is they've sat like that's one thing about this whole trust the process that's really underrated. Them sacrificing so much just to keep Ben Simmons happy. They let Jimmy Butler
Mhm.
go. You know what I'm saying? They kind
They,
of
get- they hired
they
him
kind
and
of
Brent
chose
Berry
they kind of chose Markelle Fultz, you know, because you know he kind of fit in the spacing with Simmons.
because everyone thought Simmons was the main star.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like
And
the sacrifice they made. That's the part of the trusted process that never gets calculated
what was
in Sam Hankey's analytics. It's like what you're
right?
sacrificing for that
But Hanky was
that
gone.
top pick.
Hanky was gone by the time they drafted Ben Simmons. Hanky was
No,
gone.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying Ben Simmons is his project, but I'm saying like overall, like with the whole trusted process situation,
Yeah.
it's like what comes with these first overall picks. Like
Yeah,
not like
that
look
is
at
true.
Embiid. Like they sacrificed their season, but Embiid is an injury prone big. Then you got a player who's a point guard who cannot shoot. Maybe he's not confident. You know, who has
Yeah.
kind of mental issues. It's a lot of things that come with it. The analytics ain't gonna tell you all that.
But I think Philly kind of, I think in back of Philly's mind, where I understand where they come from, but I think in the back of Philly's mind, they didn't know what to expect from the Joel Embiid project.
Hmm.
I mean, bro, be honest. Like, if you were a GM, you see your rookie out for 2 seasons, what honestly do you expect from your project? Like, you're gonna have doubts.
Yeah, it's a tough position. It's almost like the Pelicans. The Pelicans are in a similar situation. You got Zion.
Yeah,
You don't know what the
and
fuck
you
to
don't
do with
want
him.
to give up on Brandon Ingram too soon, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but the situation with Ingram, you know you can't give up on him, but you know you can't pay him too much.
Yeah. So you're kind of like, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because you know, like, if Zion fails, you still have the second overall pick from 2017. But you know that 2017 second overall pick isn't leading you to a championship.
And it's not even boosting up ticket sales like that. Not really
No, because he's
adding.
not Zion.
Yeah, it's not really adding a box office element
Yeah.
to it. Jersey sales, not really nothing.
But
Yes,
the Ben
it's a tough
Simmons
spot.
and Embiid. But I honestly do think that first year of them together, Simmons was a bigger star.
Mm-hmm.
Until I don't know when do you think the conversation changed? 2020, where you saw the conversation of like Ben Simmons becoming like instead of potential, it's like, all right, it's Embiid's team. Like, when do you think that conversation changed?
When people saw Simmons' shot ain't changed, and then they saw him in the playoffs like at least 2 times.
Because
saw-
I think by the time Atlanta, the conversation already changed to Embiid being the star player.
Yeah. By that time, yeah, Embiid was already considered the star.
So I think it might have been 20, like the bubble where the conversation might have changed.
Yeah. It might have just started to change then. No, you know what? What about that series with Jimmy Butler? That was 2019. I think by
You talking about the Kawhi series?
yeah, the Kawhi series. I think that's when the conversation changed. Cause Embiid
Yeah.
had a better run in the playoffs.
Yeah. Embiid had a better running. Ben kind of gave up on the play. Like the legendary shot, you have to blame Ben Simmons because he did give up on the defensive play.
Yeah. By that time, yeah, Embiid was kind of the guy.
Yeah.
Embiid was kind of
Embiid was always the guy, but there was always a conversation of Ben Simmons being the guy.
Yeah. But you see,
Yeah.
the 76ers around that time, they were still invested in Simmons because they let Jimmy Butler go. Jimmy Butler started calling out the bullshit that was going on with the team. He's like, yo, how come
Yeah.
nobody's talking? And like, you know what I'm saying? He started calling out, like, who's everybody protecting? And it's like, it's Simmons. And it's like, it's like, he got out of there, man. Jimmy got out of there.
Also, when it comes to Ben Simmons, you remember they hired the coach he wanted, Brett Brown.
See, again, that's the investment. That's what I'm saying. They were too
Yeah.
committed. This whole Embiid
Sure.
situation, if it doesn't work out, the 76ers will always look at, yo, we held on to everything that came with Ben Simmons too fucking long, and it cost us.
Like Brett Brown and his father were actually like coach player relationship, so that's why like you saw him like instantly become buds with Ben Simmons.
Yeah, it's just the guy. I really don't know. Even his agency dropped him, so I really don't know.
Rich Paul dropped him.
Yeah, they parted ways. You know how they're gonna
wow.
word it. We parted ways. Why would you part ways? I've never seen an agency part ways with a star that's on a max deal.
I mean, you saw that with the Zion Williamson recently.
Yeah, but it's a little different with Ben, because think about it. They stuck by him getting paid, going to Brooklyn while not playing. Philly tried to sue him to get the money back. There was already a lot of years of just questionable things, but we all know Simmons got his money at the end of the day.
And Rich Paul wanted him out too, by the way.
Man.
Remember, Rich Paul wanted him out of Philly after the Atlanta Hawks fiasco.
It's too much that comes. It's just this whole trust the process shit. This shit gonna need a documentary. I'm not gonna lie. This needs a full documentary. Hopefully these people be honest when they make it.